me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I kick it feet like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky.
You never have a bad hair day, buddy.
Nope, that's not true. I'm not like the housewives of Orange County that have their own personal makeup and hair person. So yes, it is very difficult, Cushy, living here in Southern California if you're having a bad hair day. So today I'm having a BHD, and I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I'm not going with the hat. I wanted to be as cool as Adam, but that just wasn't in the cards today. What's your number one most used social media app? I want you to think about it for a second because there's a lot of them. You got X, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook. Just curious, what is the number one most used app by Miss Cushy?
I'm extremely addicted to LinkedIn. You will always find me on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is the go-to. You think you do a lot of commenting, a lot of posting? Like, how often do you post? Curious.
Yeah, I mean, I post almost every single week, and I mostly post when I'm inspired and I feel that, okay, I have something to say, let me post it. So it's just like that.
All right. So what's the weekend etiquette? Saturdays and Sundays. Don't touch it, or is it still worth it? Adam, I see Adam shaking his head. Adam, what's your take on LinkedIn on the weekends?
Well, I mean, I'm one of those big believers that, social media is the downfall of society, next to video games. My daughter's 8 years old. So I have these application. Let me tell you my number one app, and this is for both of you. It's called Clear Space. And basically I have to do push-ups or squats before I even can access my social media. Now, I'm with Cushy. I use LinkedIn all the time for business, for life. It's like my go-to. And her comments and follow-ups on my own post. Amazing. Thank you. But when it comes to X, Twitter, Facebook, all that other stuff, I try to avoid it on the weekends. But if I am getting on it, like I said, I have to do about 10 push-ups, and a push-up or a squat equals 1 minute. So I got to do
this is like a new workout plan. What's the name of the app again?
It's called Clear Space. I'll send it to you both. I'll put it in the chat too. It's awesome. It gives these motivational quotes and just tells you why you're going on to social media. Do something productive, basically. And
all
then
so if we see Adam bulked up, we know he's been really trying to get to social media.
Trying to get on it. Yeah.
All right. So Cushy, heaven or hell? Which app on your phone is the heaven, and which one is the hell?
Oh my goodness. Definitely, I'll go with LinkedIn for sure. But the least used is the one that's Snapchat.
Snapchat's the one that's going to take you out. And when I say hell, it's the one that it has the doom scroll. I'm taking you down. How many times do you do this? And by the way, Adam, I love that you shouted that out because that might be a good fix for what I'm about to roll out. How many times do you go to LinkedIn during your business day to go find somebody, to go find a name, or what's their title? What did they do? Where are they at? But then 5 minutes, 10 minutes later, you're like, oh my God, I ended up looking at, who got a new job and where are they at now? And what's he doing? And what's that new news? And it's like you get sucked into it. It's the addiction, right?
Yes.
Adam, what about you? Heaven and hell on the phone.
Heaven and hell in social media?
Yeah, on the apps.
Definitely Instagram is my hell. Like I said, and I stayed away from TikTok and some of the other ones. I'm addicted to Instagram and the problem are Instagram. The problem is I really like what I've created. It's kind of cross between comedy and spirituality. So I have this illusion that I'm gaining something good out of it, and then a half an hour goes by. And both LinkedIn and Instagram, exactly what you're talking about, EP. It's this whole idea that you think you're being productive, right?
Yeah.
You think you're doing market research or you're diving deeper, and then you realize you had 4 closing opportunities sitting in your inbox that you have ignored. And why aren't you? What are you doing on LinkedIn? Go close some business.
It just sucks you in. It's like, I've got you now.
Yes.
All right. Well, you guys ready to do this thing?
Yeah.
You guys both strapped in? You ready to go?
Ready to rock.
Her name is Khushi. His name is Adam. My name is EP. And this is Epic Hype.
Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet. Let me get a beat, I get a kick it feet it like. Let me get a beat, I kick it funky like feet.
Today's show is sponsored by Plain Sea. Got to give some props out to the sponsor today here on Epic Hype. Who says you have to follow the map? Not me. At Plain Sea, this team is redrawing the coastline. Data is cold and strategy is stiff. These guys are pouring the fire, melding art and insight innovation with guts. From vision to viral, from concept to conquest, Plain Sea pushes the limits for you to see the landscape like you have never imagined before. With Plain Sea, you're not just riding the wave, you are the wave. Welcome to Plain Sea, create beyond the edge. You guys can go to plainsea.com to learn more. And if you ask for Marco or even Val over there, ask for the Epic demo, and you might even get a nice little Epic discount. All right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to not one, but two guests here today on Epic Hype. Ladies first, of course. She is often referred to as the community queen who flips flowers into a movement. She's not chasing likes. She's rewriting what influence means in an AI-driven world. Raw, real, unapologetically authentic, cushy is an adjective that I like to use describing having it made in the shade. But cushy is also the voice brands wish they had. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Khushi Argarwal to Epic Hype. What's up, Khushi?
Thank you so much, Edward, for such a lovely introduction. Always, great to meet you and Adam as well. Yes,
Did I do okay with the intro for you? I saw the
was
big
like
smile.
wow.
I saw the big
Yes,
smile. All
yes.
right, well, I gotta get this other guy introduced. Some people will tell you AI stands for artificial intelligence, but my next guest, he's going to convince you otherwise and talk to you about Atom intelligence. He is a digital architect who doesn't just make content, he builds experiences. This guy turns pixels into power plays and makes creativity look dangerous. If you think production is just about pressing record, Adam's about to prove you wrong. Adam Meyn, welcome to Epic Hype, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Finally got you on. I think we've been
Been a minute.
working together for at least the last year. And of course, the one thing you and I both have in common, besides loving to go to the beach and hanging out with our family, it's AI. So we're going to have a little discussion around that today, of course, because AI is everywhere. It's even in your Cheerios. If you look closely, you'll probably find it. Let me kind of throw up what's on the table today, guys. Today's topic, you can see it there, the collision of tech and influence. Pixels versus people, creators versus code, influence versus algorithms. This episode isn't just going to be a conversation. It's what I like to call a collision. Khushi and Adam, I want you guys to drop your truths on how to win the new game of tech and influence. No scrolling opinions here. No doom scrolling. I want you guys to both double click and tap in. Adam, I'm going to start with you. You have experience and expertise in technology, digital production. My personal favorite, as I mentioned earlier, AI, especially when it comes to storytelling. And Khushi, you are a professional ninja with the content-driven community and personal brand mastery. I definitely want you to, plug yourself as we go here in terms of what you do to help people on LinkedIn. Obviously, that's where you do spend a lot of your time. Our theme today, as I mentioned, it hits the intersection of tech innovation, media storytelling, human connection. And we're going to talk about how creators and technologists are literally rewriting the playbook for influence and growth. It's very, very noisy. Adam, I think you'll agree that it is an AI-driven world, and those that are not jumping on and learning and reading and attending are kind of falling behind. And here's a couple of guys that, hey man, we're not the spring chickens, and we're knee deep. We're beyond knee deep. We're neck deep. So Adam, kind of throw it out there. How noisy is it out there? We're living in this algorithm world. Are you mastering it, or are you just kind of like another pawn feeding the machine?
So muddy. That was beautiful. I think we're all pawns feeding the machine. Let's be honest with that first and foremost. I also want to make a big shout out to Khushi for calling from India. Real quick, Khushi, what time is it that you? Because it's afternoon. We're both California kids, so what time is it for you calling in and joining us?
It's around like 10 p.m. my
10
time.
p.m. So really appreciate
Always in for
it.
these type of conversations, Adam. It's super important to spread this message, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and that's exactly it. Kind of just harmonizing on the triad of communication that we've created here. It's the truth of, East-West healing arts. What I've noticed is it's incredibly noisy. Mental health is being affected by the level of noise. And instead of focusing on business, I would say the number one thing that's just switched me out of the noise is internal healing and self-love. Like, if you're not finding self-love and internal healing first, how can you help and love others, right? So I don't know if that's the answer. I'll just say that that's what I've been focusing on, and that's just been leading into kind of business a little bit more naturally and more referrals. But I would love Kashi, who's kind of more involved with this, and talk about trying to infiltrate into the American market. I would love to hear more about, your take on the noise of what's going on with digital and genuineness.
Yes, definitely. If like if I have to talk about like algorithm, my take would definitely be around more than focusing or mastering algorithm. I always focus on, let's say, mastering like psychology and like consumer behavior, right? So when I try to think about, let's say, these platforms or even content creation, things like that, I always focus on how can I create content that can let people not just consume the content but rather connect with it. So right, so when I think about that, I'm okay creating human first content, then algorithm just does its job. It just tries to amplifies the message because the algorithm knows that people are sort of connecting with the content, they are engaging it with it. So it's all about understanding the behavior more than algorithm for me. Yeah.
I like that. Let me
Love
kind of
that.
tease out collaboration versus conflict. You guys are both builders in a digital world. Khushi, you're a builder of digital communities. Where do these actual worlds collide, and where do they crash, in your opinion? And,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to, Adam, you want to take that first? That might be
Sure,
better
sure.
for you.
The collision is the collision of society right now, and I'm going to get a little deep here, EP, and you know that where I want to go with this. But traditional capitalism and the idea of the sole entrepreneurial is a difficult shift of the idea that these big box conglomerates and these large corporations have controlled a lot of the populace, especially our generation, the 40, 50-year-olds,
Yeah.
into the idea that they need to work for someone else and make money since, the 1950s, right? Since that kind of model grown. Now we're dealing with what I call the kidney stone of change in the digital and corporate world. And what we're seeing is loyalties based on genuinely caring in these big box kind of capitalist movements, and they're not seeing it. So that's where the crash is. The crash is that more people are using tools like AI and social media to realize, why don't I just build this myself?
Yeah.
Might be a lot harder, but I can work with people I like to work with and connect with people I want to connect with. And if I'm making money doing it, I'm living a good life now, not
Yeah.
like my baby boomer father
Right.
who's 83.
Right.
Yeah, he's wealthy, but
Yeah.
it's over. He worked
Yeah.
his whole life to get
Well,
there,
your 83-year-old father also grew up in a world where there was there was snake oil, right? There's snake oil now, snake oil with AI in it. A lot of people are getting sucked into it. So, yeah, anything to add to that, Khushi, from your angle?
Yes, definitely. So, as you already rightly said in the question, right? So, leaders like Adam, you create the platform, wherein, I come in where I bring the audience, right? So, it's just about the stage and then I bring the audience. So, it works really well when we combine, technology and empathy, right? And it completely crashes where people go into that rabbit hole and diving deep into technology and innovation that they often forget that it's built by humans and for humans. So wherever we don't lose our core values, which is it is built for humanity, then it works perfectly. So that's gonna be my take on this.
So, Khushi,
Huge.
you're a big creativity person. So, the question I'll have you go with first here: AI, is Is it a greater source or greater resource for being your co-creator, or is it a bigger creativity killer? Which side of that figure or of that fight are you on, and why?
I almost like every single day I use it as my co-creator, right? So I always make sure that the input, the perspective, or the original thought behind it is mine, and rest of it is the something that AI does it. So for me, AI, I always think something like, how do I explain? So you see, like I have this guitar behind me, right? So
Yes, you do.
AI is just like this guitar. If I play it properly, you'll hear a very beautiful music out of it. And if I don't play it properly, you'll just hear noise. So that's
Cushy,
how simple
Cushy,
AI
you realize that we're going to get you to play a couple of strings before we get off the show today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
is.
Well,
I'm still learning it.
maybe she can find the AI chords on that thing and play us the first beginning of Stairway to Heaven or something. Adam, how about you? Is it helping you, or is it out there killing?
It's funny. I'm kind of 50-50. I'm on both sides. I'm both an advocate and a protester.
Yeah.
I'm a big I'm I believe in soul, right? So this idea of soul and this idea of art and comedy is kind of also being really tested in society right now. And AI slop to manipulate, to trick, to tell people a lie, to infiltrate more propaganda, that's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
Also, this whole idea, and I got caught up with it. It was a rap song by some really good rap song by not Sugar Hill Gang. It was why can't I think of the name? Cypress Hill. It was a
Okay.
Cypress Hill rap song that AI turned into a funk song, and it was amazing. And it
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
bothered me
Right.
because I liked it. So that's also the fear, this idea that Spotify is already ripping off artists, paying them so little, and now AI is making music, and it's just going to
I'm so glad you
destroy
brought
the
this up.
industry.
I'm so glad you brought this up. So over the weekend, my wife brings the phone over and she's playing the tune. It's a jazz tune, and I can't remember the name of the artist. And she says, "Isn't she beautiful?" I'm like, "Yeah, she is." And she goes, Isn't her music beautiful?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really like this." And so she's like, kind of like, doing this to bump into the beat for a little bit. And she goes, "Right?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "And look, doesn't she just have a fresh look?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Where's she going with this?"
Yeah.
And then I'm listening to it a little bit more, and then she looks at me and she goes, "AI, she's not real. That's not real." And Adam, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this artist could have opened up for the Ray tickets that we just bought for my wife. Ray, by the way, a little plug for Ray, Raye, which is short for Rachel. Awesome artist. And I'm like, oh my God, she could open up for Sade, for Ray, for anybody. And guess what? That's scary, man. That's like it's not cool. But here's the thing. We're not going to a concert to hear an AI artist, or are we going to get back to Milli Vanilli?
Vanilli. I was just gonna say
And
that. Yeah. Fake
she's like,
people.
who?
Yeah.
Milli Vanilli, a couple artists from back in the 90s that lip synced. So you're going to have a couple people that look the part, but it's an AI song. I mean, really,
Right.
it's putting lipstick on a pig. Adam, it's the 90s, it's the Milli Vanilli all over again. We're just
Yeah.
calling it deep fake, right?
Yeah.
It's a strange world, man, but it's something that, look, this subject matter today is to get everybody thinking, because when you got a couple generations between, your kids or your folks or whatever it is, everyone's got difference of opinions. The one thing we all have to agree on, there's no universal set of rules. It is a wild, wild west, and it's very, very dangerous. And we all have to have awareness of what's going on. Speaking of what's going on brand, you guys heard about this TV show? It was
Mm-mm.
on last night. Well, I got Hulu, so I don't know when it was on, but it's on whenever I go and turn on Hulu. This is Jimmy Fallon's new show,
Okay.
and it's all about branding. So I was thinking, is this going to be good? It was actually really good. They were actually working with Dunkin' Donuts. They had the CEO and the CMO that are literally going to make a multi-million-dollar decision on the two teams that are competing for coming up with the best branding. And this is great because here we are talking about AI. Here's an example of no AI being discussed, but of course it's behind the marketing, the creativity, right? I won't go through the details, but just giving it a plug. You guys should check it out. I think it's a great show. Next question I have is about brand DNA. Let's talk about it. In a space where everyone is screaming for attention, how do you cut through the noise without selling your soul? Khushi, I'll start with you on this one. We're talking about, you helping people with their personal brand and getting it out there. And everybody wants to be, hey, I need 1 million likes. I need 1 million views. I need leads. I need. There's no like easy, simple, take the red pill, take the blue pill. There's a formula, and you don't need to go through the whole formula today, but what's your whole take on how branding has changed and the DNA of it, and where everybody is all fighting to try to get to the top of look at me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, these days I would say, like, getting attention is like so easy. You just follow some trends, like post a meme or something like that, you get all the attention. But I would say getting or earning that trust is extremely difficult and expensive, right?
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. I'd say, like, people have simply complicated it. Whether like, we really have to make it like so simple. All we have to do is that we have to just stay consistent with our values. Just by chasing all these trends and algorithms and everything, people, they often lose their why they started on like, on these platforms like social media and everything, right? So being true to our values and just like, sticking to the why, that and being consistent to it, I think that's the main thing. I
That's good.
always just be myself, and people, they follow me not because I'm being loud or whatsoever, but I'm being super real.
Yeah.
that's
Well,
that's the answer.
that's why I love that you came on the show, because I don't know how many podcasts you've done, but I think it's really important for people to look. I say it all the time. At the end of the day, yes, there are bots that we're talking to. Yes, there are bots that we're messaging back and forth with. But at the end of the day, people like to buy from people. Hey, I
Yes.
like this person. I want to do business with this person. Speaking of people I like, Adam, if tomorrow we're going to go the other direction, people don't like you, Adam. Don't take it personal, but let me give you a scenario. People love Adam, by the way. If people tomorrow, if you lost all your followers, all your subscribers, and clout, what's the very first thing you do to rebuild your influence from scratch? It's almost like, Adam, what's your youngest? What's the age of your
Eight.
youngest?
Eight.
8. Okay.
Yeah.
What if you want to throw his or her name out?
Or Camila.
Camila. So you're going to help Camila. I mean, I know you're not going to do this at 8, but then again, maybe you're going to put her on AGT next season and
Yeah.
she's going to be the next sensation. How do you start from scratch? What's based on what you know now and what you were doing in the 90s and the 10s and, last year? Like, what do you do from scratch to get the likes, to get recognition, to get relevance, brand awareness?
Well, there's this guy I've been working with. I think he just has this really incredible charisma. He just hasn't been noticed by the public scene yet. But I think the first move I would do, I'd probably go onto this podcast called Epichype with this guy EP.
Let me
He's
get my
just
wallet.
he's got such great lines. He's very organized, and let me add to it, he's a great collaborator. But I'm serious. I think what has happened too is we're having Zoom overload or Zoom burnout or
Yeah.
digital burnout. That's why you're wearing your blue glasses to protect your eyes. It's not healthy, the amount of screen time we all have. So the
Oh,
first step is to take your shoes off and go walk out in the grass and find grounding and find, like I said, your center, and then go meet people again. Go to events. Like you really inspired me. You go to Vegas. You've been flying around. Especially if you're working for yourself, it's a big risk putting your own money out there to
yeah.
go out there, but then you get out there and what you get out of live interaction and the feedback, you always find someone who becomes a lifelong partner and friend. And I would say, if anything, I would just, if I lose it all, I would just go live again permanently. I would love to do more live things. So that's why I'm kind of here with you. Like, I'm realizing the value of podcasts and connecting with people, on a genuine level, like Kushi's talking about. So
I love
thank
that.
you.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Adam. And check is in the mail.
Yep.
Khushi, anything to add to that?
Yes, absolutely agree with Adam. Like if I have to rebuild, first of all, I would not be worried about like losing all the followers and everything, right? Because I've really connected with people. I know them. I've connected even off platform. First thing that I would do is that finding those first 50 friends and then understanding their problems, creating content around it, and creating content that would really solve their problem, right? So as Adam rightly said, I would just go all about connecting with people, and that's how I would rebuild it perfectly. Yeah.
Love that. Perfectly said. All right, guys, let's talk about what's buzzing. Let's turn to what's happening in those headlines. Got a couple of gems for you today. Have you guys heard about the application called Sora? Sora AI. Adam, have you heard of this one yet?
I have not.
OpenAI's new social video app that's allowing you to deep fake your friends. Some of these apps are fun. Just put somebody else's face on grandma's body, or put grandma's body on one of your friends' faces and have fun. In this example, obviously a couple of horses. What you guys kind of take out there as it pertains to maybe the youth getting their hands on these apps and having fun? And anything good coming out of this, or is it just like a fad? Do you think it's going to go away, or is it going to get into the schools if it's not there already, and kids are going to use it improperly? Takes.
It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Going back to my original, what is that? Pinterest? Is that the one?
Pinterest.
So
Yep.
it's kind
Yes.
of it's an AI Pinterest. At the end of the day, going back to AI slop,
Yeah.
there's also this idea of kids that don't believe in creativity and art. It's opening their door. So it's playing devil's advocate, right? You shouldn't be
Yeah.
biased based on your own perspective. You really got to have the dialogue and connect with people that are different than you and try to understand, right? So I'd say from like just a neutral position, if they're using it correctly and there's the right protocols, where it's not, you know, doing things evil or violent or hurtful, not using it to bully, which we have a bullying problem in schools, but using it to, I like when I was younger, I like to do collaging where you cut things out and mimic things. Like this picture right here is pretty cool. Like if they're doing it for creativity and art to expand their minds to
Yeah.
something new and different, I'm all for it. I just know that all these tools are just money grabs.
And Khushi, let's get your take. This is actually everywhere right now. Her name is Tilly Norwood. You guys, hand up. You guys heard about this story?
Nope.
No, probably you can expound more on this topic.
You've got to check this out. So
She's not real.
Hollywood's trying to figure out how do we give her a SAG card, because she is not real. Tilly has got her own show going on right now. She's a legitimate actress with a legitimate, I don't know if it's a TV or movie, but she is a generated starlet, as you can see here.
For me, I'm not like really against, especially this one, like having these AI avatars, because you rightly said we already had these comic characters and everything. But I was not really happy about the previous topic where people are actually using real faces and then creating that buzz on social media, right? So if I have to say for example, if I have to, let's say, use my own image, I've actually used that to actually visualize myself. Like for example, I visualize myself as a good public speaker, right? So
Yep.
I created this collage that, okay, I'm a thought leader, or I'm having this audience, and then I'm just delivering a speech and everything, right? So that sort of visualization really helped me to overcome that fear of these public speaking and everything. So I think for visualization, yes, but without the consent and then using these images, that is something that I'm not in favor with. And with these AI avatars, it's perfectly okay, right? And especially if it is used for, let's say, education purposes. Let's say
Yeah.
if we are teaching people about artificial intelligence, and let's say if we are creating YouTube channels where we are having these AI avatars educating these people on certain topics, we can do that for masses, right? So there's no need for an actual person to sit and explain the topic, whereas an AI avatar can do that perfectly. So it's helping us save
So
time.
I love that. I am
Mm.
going to do a podcast with 2 other characters, personalities, and they're going to be AI, and we're going to have a conversation about about something fun. I don't know what it's going to be. So if you're out there listening and you can help me make that happen, DM me. Let's make it happen. Adam, anything you want to add to what's your 2 cents?
It's your rebuttal was pretty solid going back to Toy Story. I love Pixar.
Yeah.
8-year-old daughter, like I live in Disney and Pixar
course.
world, right? So here's the difference though, right? A Pixar probably, gives jobs to what? 1 million people, right?
yeah.
Like think about the numbers. What our issues, and I think what society's issues is they're still making maximum profit, right? They're still
Mhm.
making their billions, but now they're doing it with 5 people.
Yeah.
So the shift, and not to sound like Bernie Sanders, is like that's when a universal minimum wage needs to come together. It's like
Yeah.
if you ain't paying people and you're making
Right.
money, you have a obligation to give back to society. That's all I'm
Love.
saying.
Yeah. Great take. I like it. And you know what else I like? I like playing games. So you guys ready to play a little game?
You know it.
We're going to play Boost or Bust. Boost or Bust. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to list off a total of 10 things, and those things are going to have something to do with content or a tech trend. And I basically want you guys to respond boost or bust. So, boost if you think it will grow influence, and bust if you just think it's plain old hype. You guys good? All right. Okay, good. Let's play this game right here on epichype. All right. Number 1, boost or bust. AI influencers replacing human ones. Boost or bust?
Do we have any answer that is like neutral? Because I'm like
Nope.
50.
You got to go one or the other.
I mean,
Bust.
definitely it's, AI influencers ripping. I think it will grow. Yes, it will
So
definitely grow.
so I know where you're going with this. I'm with you too. But ultimately, bust for me. I want real people putting the hard work and effort. There's something about the trust, and there's 2 different angles here. Here's my take. If it's like tires, right? And I got Big O Tire, American Tire, and Tucker Tire. Those are just 3 names I know. That I'm coming up on a reel, and it's it's a deep fake. It's an AI avatar. I don't really care about that. But if it's like life coach, if it's talking about branding, marketing, AI, cyber, I guess it's personal influence. I mean, maybe we're going to get to a point, guys, and I know I'm taking too much time off this, but maybe we're going to get to a setting within our apps. Do you want boost or bust? Do you want fake or real? I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I think that might be a reality here. All right, the metaverse as the future of community. Boost or bust?
For me, community itself, like it has to be like very authentic. I'll not like agree with this one.
Put on your Oculus. What do you think, Adam?
Ready Player One, Ready Player 2's coming out soon. I'll tell you this, Minority Report, anything it's coming to the next generation. I would say it's a bust if you're 40 plus. That
Yeah.
I just don't see us getting into it. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's a great way to nail it down. I think the younger generation is like, bring it on. The older generation is kind of like, man, I got a headache putting these things on. I'm not sure if I'm ready for this. All right, next one, short form reels as the only way to grow. Boost or bust?
Bus. Yeah.
I think short. Adam, I'll let you have your take.
short-term reels, like using short video marketing. Is
Yeah.
that? Yeah, it's boost for
I
me.
think it's great as a boost at the beginning, and then when you have people, you're drawing them in. You need to have content that's longer. However, we do live in a world now that the attention span has gone from this reading the newspaper, what's that, down to tell me who you are, what you do, and why I should care in 30 seconds or less. Those of you guys have seen my Busk Your Business. It's all about be good, be strong, be done. Okay. Having fun. All right. Number 4, authenticity as the ultimate growth hack. Boost or bust?
Boost. All we've been
Well-
talking about. Yeah.
Deep fake ads featuring celebrities. Boost or bust?
I mean, so for me, it's a bust, but it's a boost. I mean, we just got to be honest with society. Like, it's going to work. We know it works, you know?
At the end of the day, I've got somebody close to my network, and I pitch him every once in a while these ideas I've got, and he says the same thing because this particular person, you know who you are, has somebody he's related to that could has a big show out there, and he tells me every single time, who do you got? I'm like, what he means by that is which celebrity do you have to help you make that idea fly? Yeah, so that definitely helps to have. And here we go using deep fakes. I'm not gonna lie, I just saw a post last night on LinkedIn, Khushi. LinkedIn, the guy's at a show and he's got Taylor Swift next to him, and it looks 100% authentic Swiftie. It's not, but did he get attention? Yes. Was it effective? Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
it sells. So it's an interesting one. Next one. Podcasts. Podcasts is the new LinkedIn resume.
You tell us.
Always, yes.
I don't think everybody out there should be doing podcasts, because there's a lot of people out there doing podcasts that don't know how to do a podcast. They can barely look at PowerPoint, and they can't present. Look, here's the deal. PowerPoint is a great thing for the audience to be able to see a picture, but do not put words on your PowerPoint. Now, obviously, this is a PowerPoint I'm using because we got a show here. I got to show you words. But my point is, when you're presenting your product, when you're presenting your solution, if you have to do this, by the way, I'll turn around just so you can see the shirt.
Nice.
Could you guys see it?
Yeah, epichype.
So nice.
Okay. So if you have to turn around to look and you have to talk to the screen, I want you to pretend you're at the dinner table. All three of us are at the dinner table. It's Adam. Adam's having steak. He's got a medium rare with some potatoes and some green beans because he's a healthy guy. And Khushi's over here having her shrimp and with some rice. And she's got some some really, really good deep fried Indian food. And here we are talking.
Right.
And blah, 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 blah. Wait, what the hell am I talking
Where are you
to?
going?
Where am I going? So
Yeah.
do not read anything. And by the way, try doing a PowerPoint with 5 slides, and each slide has a picture. Your job is to tell a story about what that picture is. I want you to think about some of the best keynotes you've ever been to. They're up there for maybe 15, 20. Larry might go with Oracle goes maybe half an hour, but some of the best ones would be really, really good, really, really tight, 15 minutes. And it's like 3 slides, 4 slides, maybe. And it's a picture, and they're telling a story about what it is. And maybe it just says like 2 words coming together, and he or she is telling that story. So, God, I've spent a lot of time on this, but at the end of the day, where I'm going with this is that people that do podcasts, you better be a good storyteller, because if you can't tell a story and you're only going to rely on your 2 guests that are on the show or the 1 guest, that's not going to fly. Those podcasts come and go. And I mean, literally, guys, I go and I listen to podcasts in 20 seconds, 30 seconds. Like, if you're not pulling me in, I'm out of here. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's kind of like surfing on the Hulu, surfing on Netflix, looking for something. Ooh, right? So that's my take. I went way too long on that one. All right. Paid verification badges, blue check flex, paid verification badges. Is this a boost or a bust?
I don't know. I don't get this. What are we talking about?
I think these I think these are the badges. This would be the badges that you get to show on LinkedIn. The different badges,
Oh,
different acronyms that you have, your certification badges. Think about people in cyber that have got tons of doctors, that have tons of different legal lawyers, that have all these different badges, and they're showing them off. So, good thing or bad thing? Do you need to show all the certifications that you have to get the job? Do you need to show all the certifications to impress somebody that you're going to be meeting or putting up on LinkedIn? Boost
I
or
would say
bust?
boost. I would say boost, especially if you're in construction or like lawyers or doctors. If you're trade field that needs certifications,
Yeah.
I'm looking for that when I'm hiring an engineer. So I would say not as much for maybe influencers or sales and marketing, but LinkedIn's your professional Facebook. You're showing all your accolades so people trust you. And if you don't have anything there, they're thinking you're a beginner or amateur. So I think, but they're also doing stuff to make more money, right?
True.
LinkedIn's trying to
Yep.
find profit, right?
Yep.
So there's that.
All right, Kush, you're taking the next one. AI ghostwriting for thought leaders like yourself.
Mhm. Yes. If the perspective is actually from the person, then definitely yes. And if it's completely written from AI, then no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take one more. Building
Mhm.
private Discord communities. Adam?
I've just got into this. I'm definitely feel like an old man with Discord. It's the gaming kind of social site, right? Like maybe explain to the audience that doesn't know what Discord is. I'm definitely the trying to be hip and just started getting into Discord. So help me out here. I
I
don't
think the
know.
way we answer, I think the way we answer this one is if your ICP, if your target market is downstream in age, you absolutely got to be there doing something.
Okay.
I think of like Twitch. Maybe 5 years ago, I was actually helping build out a cybersecurity company, and I had a really really cool channel program, and it was a referral program, and I basically was advertising or sponsoring people that were gamers on Twitch, right?
Mm,
And they also had communities within Discord. Haven't touched it, don't have the desire today, but I think again, if you're downstream and you've got that target market, you got to be doing something there. Last
I
one:
agree. I
brands
agree.
chasing every viral TikTok trend. Boost or bust?
Um, if like if it's like a it's again depends from case to case, but if it's like a D2C brand, then it definitely works for them, is what I have seen. It keeps the audience engaged. But if it's on the B2B side, then not probably. What about
I,
you, Adam?
I would say I love it for small business, and I get caught up. Like we all grew up in local towns where we have those local commercials. It's almost the be real. I'm a big cult horror movie fan, and I love kind of cheesy, really poorly done, where the point that it becomes funny. So there's this pancake lady, and I wish I knew the name to like shout her out, but it's a small business, and it's crashes. So it's a bike crashing through a window, and it's her at the other end going buy some pancakes, and it's so funny and so good. So I guess to me, if you're just some cheeseball large corporation using grassroots marketing to save money, we hate when the big dog who has billions do it, but when the little dogs do it, I love it all day, and I think it's hilarious. So that's my take.
That's awesome. I love the impersonation of the pancake lady. Might have
She's
to get her.
awesome. Get
Might have to get her.
pancakes. So
Might have to
funny.
get her here on epichype.
I will find
Well, hey,
it. I will find
I
it.
got to get you guys out of here. Just based on time, and I know you guys got to. Kushi's got to get to sleep. It's late in India, and thank you again, as Adam said, for being on with us here in the morning. So B2B Outbox. Tell everybody a little bit about what we do at B2B Outbox and how people can also find you on LinkedIn. Go ahead and give us the goods.
Yes, definitely. So I'm basically I'm a conscious entrepreneur, and I definitely help like purpose driven individuals, founders, and CXOs boost their authentic thought leadership or topic that they deeply care about, and I primarily use LinkedIn for that. So anything related to LinkedIn, let it be like personal branding or lead generation, mainly B2B lead generation is something that I do. So if you're like founder or CXO who doesn't really have that much time, but you have a story to tell, you just need like a ghostwriter or like someone who can really understand your thoughts, then B2B Outbox is the place. So yes, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always active there. So yeah, you can
She's
follow me on
legit,
that.
guys. She's the real deal, and I really appreciate
I
you coming
found her.
on. And
Really good.
Adam introduced me to Khushi, and everybody Adam introduces me to every single time. I find lots of value, and hopefully, bringing you on to epichype, I can get you some eyeballs. And a lot of the early stage startups that are out there, they're looking for low budget. They have low resources. They need something affordable. They can't afford the big agency money, and they don't want to just go to one of those third-party websites where you can get somebody for $10 an hour. No, no, no. No. Reach out to Khushi. Take the 30-minute consultation. She's great. And if you're lucky, she might even play a little guitar for you at the end of that session. All right, we're going over to Adam. Talk to me, my man. Man, I asked Adam in the green room before we started this, dude, what company are we plugging today? This guy kind of reminds me of myself. He's doing a lot of advising for a lot of different people, a lot of different companies. Love that. But Telergent is near and dear. Tell us a little bit about Telergent, and then feel free to maybe talk about some hugging and what else you got going on around you.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, Telergent's been around 15 years. It's just my personal brand. Telergent kind of represents everything me. I mean, it's why I connect with Khushi. It's ultimately consulting, but consulting with what I'm coining as the Voltron sales model. We're greater together. We form that ultimate robot as lions that we all are by collaboration connection. So I would be, I guess, the professional dot connector or infrastructure as a service. My goal is to formulate teams to really tackle complex technology problems. Sometimes I can handle it alone with my team. If I can't handle it alone, I'm pulling in EP to help companies, figure out how to work the trade show floor better. I'm pulling in Kashi to help, you know, people have that authentic voice noted from a different perspective from across the world. At the end of the day, I really think that we're missing what made things work, and it's diversification. And I always say, like, I would really like to be, the Paul Simon's Graceland of technology. And what I would give to everybody is stop thinking small. With AI, go as big as you can, because if you got a strong network, we're going to land the $1 billion deals, but we're going to land it as a group together, and be fair. Give everybody their piece. That's all I got to say. We really believe in sharing and paying it forward and paying it backwards to the people. And thank you for making the connection of how we all introed. That's important to me too. So appreciate
Yeah,
you
man.
both.
Thanks. It's all about paying it forward. I love how all three of us are kind of like a great foundational, stool, like three different legs here, right? We all three have a little small overlap, but we all three do much different things. I'm just I love listening to you guys, kind of how you promote yourselves and put yourselves out there. I've always kind of had a superpower of telling a story, make it a little bit sharper, taking the tech out, and just kind of like hitting people right between the eyes. So here it is. Anybody out there that has an AI transformation project, or you're knee deep in one 3 or 6 months, and it's kind of like having somebody come in and remodel your kitchen, and you're in 3 or 6 months going, oh my God, we hired the wrong crew. What do we do now? Or, oh my goodness, we need to do something with AI. You know what it is. You're bringing it into your SOC, Security Operations Center. You're bringing it into your IT organization. You need to plant something into your IT, your entire infrastructure. And you're hearing things and you're going to conferences, but you're like, I'm not really sure. Take a freaking meeting with Adam. He's working with a company called Tech US. These guys are great. They've been around for a long time. Engineering, hardcore engineering. I talked to a lot of them. I'm going to a summit next week for one of the telcos, and there'll be about 5 or 6 tech US type companies there. They've only been around for 3, maybe 4 years. And it's Skippy and Jippy. They've gotten together and said, hey, let's do this. No. So call Adam for that. Listen, you need I said it earlier, early stage startups. You need help with getting your brand, getting the content, getting the messaging, getting the leads, getting some meetings, getting the messaging and driving pipeline, getting brand awareness. Yes, I do some of that, but this one right here, Khushi's got it down. She's got 11 years. 11 years? 11 years. She almost does it better than playing Stairway to Heaven on the guitar behind her. Okay. So I'm telling you right now, these people are epic resources. I'm proud to have them in my network. And definitely I make introductions to startups that I'm getting in front of all the time. And of course, as you can imagine, they share that love back. So guys, I'm going to get you guys out of here because I know I'm over, and you guys can tell your bosses to, I'll send a note to give you guys a tardy slip. Khushi, I know you got to get some sleep. Not that you look like it. You look fantastic today. Thank you for the big smile. Adam, I know you're having a BHD. Bad hair day. I'm just joking. I love that hat, and you need to get one of those hats to me, by the way.
I'll get you one. Thank you. Thank you.
Did you guys have fun?
I did. Thank you so much, EP. This was great. And I like your whole flow, man.
Khushi, you have fun?
Absolutely. In fact, I think we need to create like more such type of like podcasts or even roundtables. We'll bring more people. Yeah.
All right,
Lovely.
guys.
People. Great
Enjoy the
connecting.
rest
Thank
of
you.
your evening that you have left, Khushi. Next time you come on, you got to play us a little song at the beginning, just as an intro. That would be awesome. And Adam, I'm sure I'll see you somewhere soon at one of these events that we have near and dear here in SoCal. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Good
Thank you.
times. All right, guys.
Thank you. Good to
Cheers.
see you, Kashi. Bye.
Tell me that was not fun. Adam and Khushi, good people. Really appreciated them coming on. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. To my epic audience of loyal enthusiasts, I thank you guys all so much for taking out some of your most valuable time to hang out with us here today. I also want to thank the sponsor today, that being Plain C. Plain C is not just a name, it's a movement. They take raw ideas and carve them into brands that stick, scale, and storm the market. This is where strategy meets swagger, where creativity cuts louder than the noise. Your brand deserves more than visibility. It deserves impact. Plain C, bold, relentless, unstoppable, create beyond the edge. Go to plainc.com to learn more, and don't forget to use promo code EPIC. Okay, guys, so to get more content, you guys can hop over to YouTube, follow my channel, do me a favor, give it a like, do a subscribe, follow the channel. That's Epic Starts with EP. So you're going to get all the Epic Hype episodes, and check out some of the shorts from me out and about at all these different conferences, getting in front of a lot of great early stage startups. And again, that's YouTube at Epic Starts with EP. Again, Epic Starts with EP, because it does. That's a wrap. Tie it up with a bow. My name is EP. This is Epic Hype, reminding all of you that everything epic starts with EP. And I'll see you guys next time.